How we doing, people? It's been a it's been a second since the last episode of the time cap. The date is February 21st. Let me say my S's right. February 21st. The date is February 21st. It's a Wednesday, 2024. Funny story. So I actually have a ton of things written down to talk about in this episode, right? Even though, it's like, oh, yeah, we're just catching up. Let's talk, right? Even though that's the vibe of the whole thing, right? However, let me just make this bigger. Okay. Yeah, however, I ran into it. So apparently, I have what is this? XM8500 from Behringer. It's like a $20 microphone, right? But it sounds great. It sounds like butter if you do the right thing, right? And if you don't do that, so I'll explain why that happened. I'm getting to it. So this is interesting. Before I started, there was this disgusting. I can actually show it to you right now. You want to hear it? So I'm going to turn my gain all the way up. You can't really hear it. It's okay. But if I turn my microphone this way, that's towards my brother's room, or this way towards my older brother's room. You hear how bad that is, dude? That is so bad. So apparently these XLR microphone things are like, what do you call it? They're like antennas. So what's going on there is that my little brother has too much electromagnetic interference going on in his room, and my older brother, who has a ton of electronics, has a ton going on that way because it's a wall to wall pretty much. I'm currently pointing it basically out my window. Like that's the direction it's going because it just goes outside. No electromagnetic interference, but the trade-off for this means that I have to put it on my left side of my face and not my right side. Not the right side of my face, if that makes any sense. And I'm used to having it on the right side. See, that's the issue. I've switched to my right side because I've switched my chair, but this is an uncomfortable position. And it's not something I can hold up for very long. So, yeah, very, very disappointing. It shouldn't matter what side the microphone is on, but um yeah, I don't know. Like the way I lean my head, it just makes that happen. And so, let me just point it again. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. So apparently I don't even have the freedom to point the microphone the way I want it to go. If that makes any sense. It doesn't to me, but, just deal with it, I guess. Welcome back to the Time Capsule Podcast. It's been a second. A lot of things have gone on. I don't even know the last time I uploaded a solo episode. Probably it's been over 2 months. But we've had a lot of guest episodes, a lot of um, issues with corrupted hard drives, a lot of very interesting things. Where's my notebook? There it is. Been working on a lot of videos for the main channel. I actually have 2 videos for the main channel that I have not, 3 videos that I have not uploaded that I need to edit. I have all the footage for it. Well, I have 2.5 of the 3. I need to record the second half of the third one. But I have a whole documentary. It's 2 hours of footage. I have a hiking video, the Flatiron video, which is also 2 hours of footage. And I also have like this, or I think I talked about this last time. Are my videos becoming right? Are they becoming self-aware? Is the honeymoon phase of my YouTube over? Right? All the questions, right? And randomly, I will say this. I haven't checked on it in a second. All right, let's see here. This is so interesting. So awesome. All right, I'm going to the studio. YouTube studio right now. I don't want to go to the podcast channel because nobody cares about the podcast channel. It's the oldest channel, and yet the channel with the least amount of views. Because that makes sense. Oh, we're almost to 400 views. For some reason, some ungodly reason, is this video getting traction. I uploaded on my Instagram, but like nobody goes on my Instagram. It's called the 4-Hour Movie, and that might be one of the reasons why it is being successful right now. I don't. Anyway, it's a dumb little video. 380 views right now. Average view duration is 34 seconds, which is great. Plus 3 in the last 28 days for subscriber count. 436 views in the last 28 days. 5.8 hours of watch time. That's pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, I don't know where. Like, I think the second most viewed video is the very first video upload, which is the Highest Point, Arizona. One of my favorite videos I've ever made, with 48 views. A whopping 48 views, ladies and gentlemen. And then out of nowhere, the stupid short film that, I mean, it was a little bit try hard, but not really. Just a tad try hard. And I don't know why I said it like that. And it's got 380 views. For some, doesn't the previous video has 19 views. The video before that has 40, and like 10 of those were me. You know, because I was checking up on the video. Yeah, so like I really only have 3 videos on this channel that were made for this channel. The other ones have kind of just been joke stuff. The channel went from very uniform to just awful. So that was fantastic. Yeah, and so let me check my levels here. Let me check my levels. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. There it is. Back to normal levels. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done this. Clearly. We still haven't accessed the notepad, so good for us. Yeah, so for some reason, I have no idea why that's blowing up, so I guess next time we come on here, I'll say if it's blowing up again. And I say blowing up because it's all relative, right? I mean, obviously, it's blowing up, right? It's got 400 views, right? Literally, who cares? Nobody cares. But, you know, it's for the channel. I think the average view count for this channel is like 30 views, and now we're at 380. So I have no idea why that happened. Very odd, actually. But it does make me want to like start making like actual films on my channel. So we'll see what happens with that. Not really sure what we're gonna do with that, but yeah. Going on to something I didn't write down. I have been looking at cameras lately, and you know, I could tell you, oh, this is where I've been. Yeah, I don't care. I'll just talk about what I want to talk about. I want to talk about cameras because that's all I've been thinking about lately. So the camera I want to buy is $3,800. Sorry. It goes by the name of the Sony FX3 Cinema Line full frame camera thing, right? I don't know. I don't know enough about cameras, but that's what I want because everyone says it's good. And really all I want it for is the low light performance. Because if you are a aspiring solo filmmaker, solo because you have to be, lighting setups are hard. Number one, they are very difficult. And then number two, they're expensive. And so if you can do well in low light environments and not have to get the lighting setups, I mean, come on, baby. That's makes it so much easier for you. And really low light performance is all I care about. Coming from an iPhone, where low light is terrible because the sensor is the size of a gummy worm. You know what I mean? And so I want the FX3. It's the same as the Sony A7S3, because that makes sense, right? The A7S3 is a hybrid camera that is optimized for video, so it's really a video camera, and it's also $3,400. So it's like, well, what do I do with this? They're both really expensive. And the saddest part about that is that that's just the camera body for both of those. If I want a lens, that's gonna be like $1,000 or like $700, depending on if I get it used or what condition I get it in. And so you'll need two lenses. For I don't know why I said that like that. Y'all need two lenses for getting your cool shots done. And then you might need a cage, and then you might need a little display screen that's bigger than the LCD that pops out of it. And you're coming out to like $6,000-7,000 for your rig. It's just it's mind blowing. It really is mind blowing. It doesn't really make any sense. And the thing that extra sucks about that is that I've really been thinking about every single penny I've spent in the last 8 years, and how a lot of that money could have gone to something better. I Oh shit, I just realized something else that I bought. Okay, so my first car, my Dodge Challenger that was black. They call it the red one in the family. I put $2,800 into that, and then I crashed it. Uh, I got crashed into, but yeah, it died after I put $2,800 into it, and they only gave me basically what I paid for it, when I got the insurance money for it. So it got totaled, and so I lost $2,800 on that, and then I lost $1,000 to stocks one time, and then I recently put 3,000 ish dollars into the current Challenger for control arm issues, and that adds up to about $7,000, which I could be putting into a camera right now. So that that sucks. I usually would say something like, "Bro, that fucking sucks," but currently I'm trying to pull back on the profanities in my language. I'm trying to pull back on the profanities, and I'm trying to pull back on the likes and the filler words in my language. And I really do think they're coming up a lot because I haven't been doing this. Who would have thought that doing this stupid podcast would be so beneficial to my speech? Because if I keep saying, if it's like, I don't know, like maybe, like, if I were to, like, I want to shoot myself right now because I can hear myself in the mic monitoring. And when you don't get that enough, it just kills you. I don't know. It kills your diction, I think is the correct word. The word choice, your diction. Yes, I took English class. English class. I'm going to try that again. I took English class. English. I think my throat's drying up. Give me 2 seconds, please. I promise. It's because my throat was dry. And no other reason. Ooh, I could talk about this. My phone, I used to have a kind of a faux leather, kind of textury brown leather case. It had like the plastic it compresses, so like it'll take the hit when you when you drop it. It was pretty cool. The plastic, it was silver, and it was painted on there, and it was rubbing off. It was one of those things, like, you rub it too much and the paint comes off and it's not shiny silver anymore. Regardless, I used to have that as my phone case, and recently I spent $50 on a really nice phone case. It's got aluminum alloy around the camera area to protect it. So that's pretty cool. And it's got real leather for the case, so we like that. And the reason being was because I went on a hike recently, and it was actually a hunt, not a hike. I don't know why I said a hike. I don't know if I've talked about this either. So my friend Emilio invited me on a. Oh my gosh, this is a fourth video that I forgot about apparently. Yeah, I need I gotta upload that. I did that early February. No, early January. No, when did I do that? I did that early January. Yes. Or late February. No. Honestly, it doesn't matter when I did it. The fact is, it's been like a month since I've done it, and I still don't have the video out because I've been working on other things. Been working, been working on other things, and I don't know why I'm speaking with the back of my throat, and it's really destroying my articulation here. It's really destroying my articulation here. Next on the Time Capsule Podcast, we talk about articulation and how talking like the movie guy actually makes it really easy to say all your words and syllables correctly. Aren't you so glad you listened to this? This is just stellar entertainment. I don't know why anyone wouldn't listen to this. I mean, this is probably the best thing you've ever heard in the history of anything that you've ever heard. Of everything, everywhere. Maybe all at once, but actually, everything everywhere one at a time, but sometimes more than one at a time. Starring the Asian guy. Nobody laughed at that. So, I laughed at that. Dang it. You lost composure, man. I can't believe you. I can't believe you. You were supposed to act like that wasn't funny. And that way it would actually be more funny. And now you're explaining the joke, and it makes it even less funny. Unless you're sort of self-conscious about explaining it, which is kind of the thing where... May I remind you, it is 2 in the morning right now. That's your reminder. Awesome. Got the cool phone case because I dropped my phone on the hike in the dark, in the middle of the night. And I don't know where it went. This new Neewear T30 bendy tripod that I have, it's got the spring clamp. So you just pull it up, slip the phone in, and it drops and clamps down. It's not the screw clamp that I've had on my previous tripods. And so I fell, and I put some pressure on the spring, and it compressed the wrong way. And then the phone flew out, and I didn't know where it went. I was like, dude, I could have cracked the lenses. This is like $1,000. I wasn't thinking about cameras at that point, so I was really less concerned about spending the $1,000. But we're ballers on a budget, so I was not a fan of that. Ended up getting stuck on the mountain. All right, so this is what happened. So we're tracking this deer, and I am behind my friend Emilio. I'm filming him and stuff, and it's great. Gets pretty dark, and we're like, all right, well, we're not going to give him tonight because he's bow hunting. He's like, we're not going to give him tonight, so we're just going to turn around. I'm like, okay, because it's getting dark. We've turned around. We're, about like 30 minutes, 20 minutes from the car. We can see it. It's just really treacherous terrain. Not treacherous, it's just bushwhacking. So you got to be vigilant to not, like, trip and die every step. Anyway, we're that far from it, and it's super, super dark. And so I drop the phone. The phone flies out of the tripod. It's because it's a spring that got compressed, so it just flung it. Absolutely flung it. Nowhere, no idea where it went. Could be anywhere on this mountain. There's like rocks everywhere. There's plants everywhere, right? And so it's all very terrible and awful, right? So we can't find it, and we don't have our lights with us because we're stupid. So Emilio gives me the Glock, and he gives me the bow, and he's like, "All right, you stay. I'm like, you stay here, while I go back to the van or the whatever he has, the Mazda, and grab our lights. I'm like, all right. So I'm looking with his phone, right? Because we don't have a light, so he only has his phone light. So I'm keeping the phone light for when he has to come find me again, because by the time he gets to the car, it's gonna be pitch black, because we're in the middle of nowhere hunting, right? And so the only way he's gonna find me is with me signaling him with the phone thing, the phone light. And so he goes all the way down. I mean, this is like an hour and a half because he's trying to get down in pitch black, man. It is because I have his light because he needs to come find me when he gets back. It is. It was just very bad. I was ready to sleep up there, honestly, in case I had to find my phone or whatever. It was not a good time. So he gets back up there. It's like an hour and a half later, and on his way up, he's like, "Oh my gosh, man, I found it. It's right there." And it was 20 feet in front of me. Just not even close, because I stopped as soon as I fell and when I flew. I would have never found it. Unbelievable that we found it like that. So, yeah, if we go hiking, I am not taking that tripod. I am taking a different one that screws, and I am like putting yellow tape on the thing, or I'm doing something to the phone, or because here's the issue, right? We could have called the phone, right? Oh, let's just call the phone. My phone was on Do Not Disturb for number one. Never doing that again. Throwing the ringer on next time. But the issue is the microphone that I use, it just plugs in to the power cable port. You just get a dongle and it'll work. Which means you got to take it out if you want the speakers to work. Yeah. So if I'm using the microphone, there is just simply no way to make that happen. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do for hiking. Hopefully by the time I do on a trip like that again, I will just straight up have a camera. And yep. Anyway, let's go to the notebook. Let's see what we got. Let us see what we got. What do you call it? My bookmark fell out. Oh dear me. Oh. It's really late, and I'm still recording this anyway, because why the content? I'm just going to go for as long as I feel comfortable. Okay. Let's see what I wrote down. Existing absolute. So, guys, I was on a shoot. I was on a film shoot. Yay! For the first time since, I think, Joe's shoot. Joe, who doesn't talk to me anymore. So, yeah, long time ago. Probably, I think I have upload on this channel. Let's see here. I mean, I uploaded it December 5th. That's way past the date that I did it. Like October. Yeah, I probably did it like October-ish. Yeah, I don't have dates on that. I should probably do that. Yeah, it was probably October that we did those shoots. So, yeah, been a long time since I've been on a film shoot. Yeah, like half a year. Crazy. 4 months is not half a year, Ben. You're a dude. You're stupid. Regardless, the people I was with was Jake and Jake and Jake and Peter. That's like a movie. Jake and Peter. Really cool guys. Honestly, a breath of fresh air from what happened with the last time I tried to do anything film related. So honestly, kind of a godsend if I'm being legitimate. I was not in a good mental spot in terms, not like, oh, I was sad, I was depressed. I was just very untrusting of people. Generally, I was like, a film thing, fuck, like I don't want to do that. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to do that. And so this positive experience with these guys and some pretty talented actors made it something I'd want to do again, which is good because that's kind of my job to do those things. So Yeah, a lot of fun. I don't know if I talked about um the crazy production thing. Basically, long story short, we had this crazy dude, absolutely insane. He's an adult, right? So like no excuses. It's like if I'm dealing with some 20-year-old or 19-year-old kid, I say kid as I'm 20 years old, it's not really a problem. I'm just like, well, you know, Gen Z, we're all dumb, blah blah blah. But if you're an adult, there's an expectation to not be stupid. Um, Basically, he was dumb and threatened people. Not good. Very bad. I had a lot of stress over it. Actually, got sick from the amount of anxiety induced. It was. Doesn't that sound just pathetic and petty? Oh no, I was so stressed out and anxious from this dude who was in the production thing that I got sick. Oh dear me. It's just whatever. Whatever, man. And it sucks because I think I gave him the link to my main channel. So, yeah, that sucks. That's a big suck. So anyway, I really don't want to get into that because it happened pretty recently. I'll talk about it in like 3 years or something, or 2 years. I'm really not trying to antagonize or incite anything. So, yeah. Just for the safety of others and the safety of your community, make sure you vote for the home team baseball game. Yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, existing absolute. So there's three parts to it. I only recorded two of the parts because I was doing homework for one of them, which is really unfortunate because I wish I would have gone all of it because it would have made a lot more sense in the documentary. But I wasn't planning on making a documentary until later. So yeah, 2 hours of content. Ugh. It's a lot of content, man. It's a lot, and I'm dreading making it a little bit, but I think it'll be great. I shot on a Candon. Wow, this is my Candon EOS 90D. My Candon. Wow. The camera company's name is Canon for the uninitiated camera geek people. Gearheads, yay! It was a lot of fun. I liked shooting on that camera. It was one of the Jake's personal setup. 90D is not a fantastic camera. It's kind of a workhorse, but it's pretty old. Am I peeking the microphone right now? I feel like I'm peeking the microphone. I'm not even looking. No, I'm not. I'm not peeking the microphone, but oh my gosh, this is lagging so hard. Holy. Why is it lagging so bad? What is going on? Why? Well, I've never seen it lag like this. One second. I'm checking activity monitor. This is crazy. What is happening? Logic is never this laggy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm actually going to pause. This is ridiculous. Okay. Yeah. I've never seen Logic that laggy. That was crazy. Okay. I just had to like restart my stupid thing here. So, yeah, I don't even know what we were saying. Anyway. What was I talking about? Canon. Yeah, okay, so the Canon, like, it's a workhorse, but it's really old. It's really old. It's like 12 years old. That's not true. Um, I know it's at least 8 years old. That's for sure. And there's a lot better cameras you can get for the price of that new, because they still sell the 90D new, but there's some older cameras that you can get that have been updated. Like, for example, the Sony A7 has like a million. There's like so there's four of them, right? And up to there's five R's and there's three S's and four normals. So 5 plus 3 equals 8 plus 4 equals 12. So there's like 12 models of this freaking camera, okay? Which means there's a lot of cameras that are old and have been discontinued, which means they are cheap now. You can get a Sony A7 base model, the original, for like $500, and then you can get a lens for that. For lenses, they're all the same. I think it's an E mount full frame lens, same price. So you can get, I think the full rig for a 90D is like $1,500 with the lens and everything. I think you can get a bag with it too, which is pretty cool. But the lens plus whatever, and then bags aren't that expensive. A band, $1,000 for an A7. You know, it's whatever. Anyway, the point being is that this camera isn't anything crazy. It's not like an FX3. It's not like or an A7 or A7 IV, right? For all you non-camera people that listen to this, it's not the newest thing, right? It's just I don't even know how to explain it. The FX3 is like a Porsche 911 Turbo S. No, GT3. Okay. And um the the Sony A7 IV is like, I don't know. It's like a Mustang, I guess. Yeah, it's like a GT 500. And the 90D is like a Miata. Yeah, it's like a Miata. So it's fun, but it's just it's a thing. It doesn't compare to those other vehicles. Not a clapped out Miata, just a base model, guys. It's fine. 8 hours later, after that stupid long explanation, what was I even talking about? Yeah, the 90. Okay, I shot on a camera that's not like amazing, and it's just a default camera, like bare bones. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is so much better than shooting on iPhone. What am I doing with my life? And so now I really have the camera itch because I knew I needed a real thing. I was like, I'll just shoot on the iPhone for as long as I can, because it's iPhone. It's great. Great image quality. Actually, some fantastic image quality from the documentary footage. Very happy with how that turned out. But now I got the itch for the thing. And I was taking great photos on the what do you call it? The 90D. It's not a stills camera. It's a video camera. And I just enjoy taking video more. There's something about the way video looks, especially at 24 FPS. It's just super satisfying. I don't know what the deal is. You just look at it, you're like, oh man, like it's like a satisfying video, right? Of like, kinetic sand or whatever, but it's just video playing, and you're like, but it's really high quality. So you're like, oh my gosh, this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen. Oh, right. Anyway, I enjoy shooting video over photos to make a long story short. So I think the Sony A7R5, the R series, it doesn't have to be the R5, has the same lens mount as the FX3. So if I got an FX3 and an R5 or an R3 or an R2 or whatever the heck, I could just use all the same lenses, and you'd have a photo camera and a video camera, and it would be beautiful. But it would also cost like $10,000, probably $12,000. That's money that I don't have to spend right now. This is the worst part, right? I actually do have money. I know, isn't that amazing? I actually do have money. Believe it or not, the boys got dough. I actually do have money, and I could buy the FX3 rig that I want. But it's like, I don't need the camera right now. I'm not shooting any big. I need to get like, you know what I mean? Like, I have friends with cameras that we can use. I don't need my own thing right now. I just need to be patient, and I need to start getting my own gigs as a videographer, But then there's the whole thing of like, oh, like, don't you want to learn before you get paid for it? But, or, I don't even know. I'll have to talk to people about that. Or it's like, should I get a cheaper camera and start shooting on that just to get work? I don't know. I don't know. I gotta talk to my boss, one of my bosses. No, not my boss, the creative arts director at my work, about that kind of thing. And yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of camera stuff, blah blah blah. I had fun on the existing Absolute thing. Be looking out for that documentary. I made a couple Instagram posts about it. One of the Jakes was so polite as to acquiesce my request to take stupid vanity photos of me shooting with his Canon 90D, and so I have a new profile picture for whatever it's called, my Ben's Candids, Ben's.candids on Instagram, and so that's pretty cool. I'm changing profile pictures for a lot of things. People do not want me to change my main. It has been the same since 2016 or 2017. Forget when I made it. Oh boy. It's a stupid rose picture. I think I've talked about this before and wanting to change it, but I'm not gonna change it. The only way I change it is if I do one of those shirtless headshots, like the shoulders up thing that the actors do sometimes. If I do one of those, then I'll do it. But until then, you know, it's just it's not gonna happen. I don't even know who would do those for me. It's like, hey, you want to take pictures of me when I'm shirtless? That's great. That's such a that's not creepy at all. You know, I don't think I even know any photographers. Come to think of it, they're all video people. I know a lot of videographers. I don't know like any photographers. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know. You got to do like the low key sexy shoots. I think those are tasteful. You know, like the you see the models do. It's like they wear the suit, but like here's one, the beach. So like they wear the white collared shirt or whatever, and they like, oh no, they go in the waves, and it's like it's kind of see through, but it's kind of not because you put the filter over it. So it's like sort of there, right? And it's not just straight up like here's my tits, boom, here's me in a bikini, bam, here's me in my underwear. It's not like that. It's like there's finesse to it, right? I think that's I think that's a good thing. I'd like to do something like that. Mostly because I'm fucking hot. No, because, I feel like here's the thing, right? I'm going to get old and fat someday. Okay? But I'm not currently old and fat, so I would like to take advantage of the fact that I am not currently old and fat. And so, yeah, whatever narcissistic vanity photos I can get taken right now, I'm going to take them and I'm going to post them. And I'm going to demand that people like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell and sign up for notifications and sign up for the newsletter and join the Patreon and do all this stuff. Sorry. Don't know where that went. Don't know where that came from. Don't know where it's going. But I do know this one thing. They will come to the field of dreams. Um, Watch this 5-minute thing called Breathless. It's an old French film. It is a fantastic first 5 minutes of a movie. It came out in like the 50s. And if you think about those movies, it's like they're old, They're really boring. Not awesome, very boring, not fun. And you get this French film, and the first 2 seconds of it, you got this like he's reading a porno magazine. And the first 2 seconds of it's like, what? He says the F word in it in French, and he's like shooting people, and he's talking. He's literally addressing the camera. He's like, "Hey, you should come to France. It's pretty cool." Yes. Kind of like a vlog. It's like, is this the first ever vlog? Holy shit, this is cool. I highly recommend you watch it. I don't know why I brought that up. Probably because I felt like that guy. He's very ADHD. It is the most ADHD like first 5 minutes ever. It's just all over the place, but it's hilarious. I think one of his lines is Oh, what does he say? He says, "Women drivers is cowardice incarnate or personified." It's like, what? He's just making fun of. There's a part where there's these two female hitchhikers, and he's like, "Ooh, like the one has nice legs. Ooh, she looks cute." And he gets closer because he's driving towards them, and he realizes that they're both ugly, and he's like, "Oh, like look at those dogs." Like it's just so. It is. It is so funny to just observe that. It's like, dang, like just the absolute disregard for women is so funny in that context. It's like, wow, you guys just released this like this. That's crazy. You know, just the differing times is pretty funny. Um, yeah, I don't know. Be looking out for videos, and on this channel actually, be looking out for a podcast with Katie. Should be doing it. I need to stop saying Should be doing it this Saturday. First ever, the first ever female podcast member on the Time Capsule podcast. And very exciting because it's been a sausage fest in here recently. Just a bunch of dudes talking about dudes, kissing dudes. What? Didn't say that. Just a bunch of men, bunch of boys, bunch of lads, bunch of vandals, riff-raffed in the Honolulu caves of Wakahiki. Right? That's exactly what's going on here. And we just need some more perspective. I asked Jaden to be on it, and she politely declined, saying that she hates the sound of her voice, and she would kill herself if she had to listen to it for an extended period of time. So hopefully that was a polite way to say, no, Ben, fuck you. I don't want to be on your podcast, but nice try. And not the fact that she hates herself. I don't know which of those options is worse for the general outcome. Love you, Jaden. Just making fun of you. If you hear this, you're probably not going to, because nobody listens to this podcast, which is actually quite comforting. I can say whatever I want, and no one's gonna care, because no one's gonna know about it. Wow, isn't that amazing? Anyway, so hopefully Katie's gonna be on here. I think she has a lot of good things to say. I think I have a lot of good things to ask her about, because she's done a lot of cool and interesting things. It's really hard to interview a person. It's hard to interview. Yeah, straight up. It's just hard to interview a person. When I started out these podcasts with people, it was just, it's just like, conversation, kind of, sort of, cool. That was the whole thing. That was it. Nothing else. And now, recently, that's the word I wanted. Now, recently, there has been a shift in the way I do it to where there is interview like questions and topic. And honestly, it makes topics a lot easier. I was talking to Ethan. He's like, do you like have a way you have questions, the way you want to go? I was like, no, it's very freeform. It's very Sven, very zen, and just careless and reckless, like the thoughts in the air and the waves and the feathers of the sky. Right. That's exactly what I told him. 100%. That's what I said. And he was like, "Oh, that's cool, whatever." And then I realized that it kind of sucks to listen to if you don't have a topic. And so one of the best ways to do topics like that is to, have questions that you ask the person. And it's really hard to interview uninteresting people, is the ending to that statement from about 40 seconds prior. I didn't check that. I'm just completely guessing. I hope I'm right. I hope somebody checked that and it was like, wow, he's totally on. Yeah, Katie's infinitely fascinating, just like every human should be. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Humans, we are. I say as though I'm not a human. We're very interesting creatures. We are. Listen to me philosophize and proselytize to you real quick. We're all Made in God's image. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Made in God's image. And that makes us interesting. And people are really weird, and they're dumb, and they're stupid. And that makes them interesting. And I'm not saying that Katie's any of those. I'm just saying people in general. We as a species. And I think there's a couple standout people, such as Katie. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think she's one of those standout people. And and yeah, should be a lot of fun. I'm probably gonna go to her place and record there because she lives far away, and I'm not gonna make her drive for a podcast that is not even hers. Can you imagine? Like, I think she lives like 48 minutes away or something like that. And can you imagine being like, hey, can you drive 48 minutes to my house so we can record my podcast when nobody listens? I just got done saying that nobody listens to this podcast. And yeah, anyway, that's not the point. The point is we're going to get a girl on the podcast, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. There's only one girl at the shoot for existing Absolute. It's pretty funny. There's supposed to be two, and then one of them dropped out at the last moment. Extremely unprofessional. And so that made the dynamic a little bit interesting because one of the well, okay, so the girl who dropped out was replaced by the director's roommate, and that's a dude. So it just kind of sucked. Originally, it was going to be two girls going to a party, and one of the girls had a crush on the drummer. Or no, she was dating the drummer? I think they're dating. Yes. Anyway, it made a lot of sense. Two girls going to a party. That happens all the time. And all the party shots would have, more girls in it. But she was the only girl on the whole set, basically. There's one more woman who showed up who helped with sound. She seemed pretty cool. But she was only there for like half of one of the 2 days that we shot. So anyway, all the shots, she's the only girl in the shot. And it's just funny because somebody commented on the footage like, oh, one girl showed up to the party. Like, we got one girl to show up. And that's kind of how it was with the shoot too. So that was funny how that turned out. But now, because the female character was replaced by a guy, now it's a girl and a guy going to a party, and then they're hanging out for a while before the party, and then she goes to the party and is actually with the drummer. So that makes it was already kind of like a grimy. It was a house party, as in like a concert in the house, like a house show with a band and stuff. Should have clarified that. It probably makes a lot more sense now. You're probably like kicking the wall and screaming like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's talking about nothing, and he keeps going, and he's not gonna bring up what he was talking about. What an idiotic human that is speaking right now. So dumb that he doesn't drink enough water when he records. And so now his voice, now his throat hurts infinitely. It's 2:30. I should probably shut up right about now. But yeah, the movie's pretty grimy, pretty grungy, In my mind is kind of the main theme of it. I think that's kind of what everyone was humming. And so it makes it look like she's leading these two guys on. So, it kind of adds to it a little bit, I think. And honestly, I think the guy who replaced the girl, they look like a better couple than the couple that is written into the script. But that's just me. I'm not the director, so I can't. I have no input on the thing. I do not. I'm looking at my tripods here, and I'm realizing I can actually combine them right now with the 1/4-inch screws. That's that's something. I might. What the heck? I didn't know you could do that. Okay. Sorry. Ultimate distraction mode enabled is what just happened there. Clearly, I haven't done this in a while. Sorry. For your ears, and for your concentration, and for your time. You just gave up. I don't know how long I've been doing this. You've just given up Insert time of your life. How does it feel? It feels bad, but maybe you enjoyed it. I don't know. I don't make these for other people. I make these for me. That's right. I do this for my own self fulfillment. Aren't I such a selfish creator? Oh, man. Oh, oh, oh. Abhorrent. I've been saying that word a lot lately. Abhorrent. It is abhorrent. That's right. Yeah, abhorrent. I'm such a terrible person. Mostly because I know nobody cares about this as much as I do. And that is a general theme that we will pick up on the next episode. Yeah, nobody cares as much. And that's all right because that's kind of how it goes with creativity at the non professional level because, you know what, they're paid to care and money goes a long way when it comes to that. My Candids page, my podcast channel, my main channel, you know, I'm the only one who cares. And that's all right because, you know, for a millisecond, when people like the post, they're like, "Oh, that's really cool." Oh, another reel. Okay, I'm looking at this now. Totally forgot what he posted. You know, it's just water under the bridge. There it goes. You know, I'm the only one who cares, and I think that's all right. And on that note, we are going to sign off, and we missed out on talking about Mark Manson and self help. No, I was in my self help era. Did I do? Did we miss out on that? It's possible. I don't know. Did I have that conversation in my head? You know, I probably did. Okay. Man, I totally missed out on a great moment to sign off there.